right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
I really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
We begin at 10 with the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Just hours ago, the former president had to be rushed off stage after shots were fired during a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. The former president quickly ducking for cover. Two women from the St. Louis area.
I could see just like maybe the top of his head because he was surrounded by all the Secret Service.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Brent Solomon. You'll hear more from those local women who were there when it happened, that in a few minutes. First, as we come on the air, the Secret Service says the former president is safe tonight. Mr. Trump sharing on social media a bullet grazed him in the right ear. Tonight, we know two people are dead, the shooter and someone attending that rally. Another spectator is in critical condition. Let's get the very latest now from NBC's Alice Barr.
Former President Trump is safe tonight after a horrifying moment, an apparent assassination attempt at his rally in Butler County, Pennsylvania. The former president writing on Truth Social that he was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of his right ear.
It just went pop, 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 pop. And then as I was staring straight ahead, I looked across and I didn't see anything, so I looked back at President Trump, and that's when he went down.
The U.S. Secret Service says it neutralized the shooter, who is now dead. One spectator was killed, two others critically injured. The Secret Service saying the shooter fired several shots from an elevated position outside the secured rally venue. The former president had just started speaking shortly after 6 when loud pops rang out. He reached for his ear and dropped to the platform behind the podium as Secret Service agents rushed the stage and surrounded him. Blood could be seen on his right ear running down his cheek toward his mouth, and he pumped his fist to the crowd as he was hustled to a waiting SUV. Former President Trump thanking law enforcement and offering condolences to the person who was killed and those injured. President Biden addressing the nation.
There's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this.
As lawmakers and Americans from both sides of the aisle send prayers for healing and for peace.
And less than an hour before we went on air, we got in touch with a mother and daughter from the St. Louis area who were just sitting 8 rows behind President Trump. Former President Trump. Now, I can tell you the mother from Chesterfield is now recounting being unable to duck down when the gunfire rang out as her daughter from O'Fallon, Missouri, witnessed the aftermath.
I couldn't because, there were people laying where our feet go, and, we were crowded in there. So I had the gentleman next to me laying on the ground. I had the lady next to me laying on the ground. I said there was nowhere for me to lay,
It happened. It was so chaotic. Well, then all of it stopped. Like all the sound stopped. It was like almost like silence. And so everybody kind of popped up to see what the heck was going on. And you could see them rushing Trump off the stage. And then the Secret Service started yelling at us, get down, get down, get down.
Tonight, we're hearing from a former Secret Service agent who lives in St. Louis County. He served during President Obama's administration and understood the urgent need for Secret Service agents to act when there was no time to wait.
I was glad to see that he was able to get up.
Brian Gant of St. Louis County watched as special agents jumped into action when gunshots rang out at former President Trump's campaign rally Saturday.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do in terms of creating a body shield, shielding the president behind that podium, covering him.
Serving as an agent for 7 years, he understood the immediate need to evacuate the former president from the threat.
You're in an outside venue. You're in an open environment. You never want to be in any kind of environment where you are susceptible to any kind of attack.
Once Trump was out of danger,
and then the other law enforcement resources in the area should have been directed to the problem, or in this case, to the shooter.
Hours after the incident, the Secret Service confirmed the shooter opened fire from outside of the heavily secured perimeter of the rally.
And knowing how people are screened, that are in an immediate area of the former president, it actually would be more plausible to me that something came from outside the security zone.
Security now top of mind as both parties prepare to hold conventions, and both candidates prepare for even more campaign stops.
In light of this incident, I can assure you that protection levels and security levels will become even more stringent.
Gant says in cases like this, special agents may assess the security situation weeks before the actual event, so they can immediately respond in the event of danger. And when it strikes, they consider it a, quote, zero-fail assignment. Tonight, local politicians are reacting to the assassination attempt. They say it is too close to home. Annie Kroll joins us now in the newsroom. And Annie, you've actually been speaking with both Republicans and Democrats about this.
That's right, Brent. The apparent assassination attempt on President Trump that's being reported is clearly going to have some kind of an impact on the security of these political rallies. However, similar shootings have happened before, and I spoke with one former congressman who was caught in the crossfire.
Former Illinois Congressman Rodney Davis was at a June 2017 congressional baseball game when a shooter opened fire.
These instances are tragic times. I will tell you from that morning, Annie, I have never been in a more horrifying, terrifying experience that lasted about 10 minutes until the gunman was finally taken down.
The Republican representative with the 13th district served for a decade starting in 2013. Davis now joining the chorus of Illinois and Missouri politicians reacting to Saturday's shooting. The Illinois Democrat and U.S. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin saying, quote, political violence is never acceptable. I'm keeping the former president, the bystander who was tragically killed, and all who were injured or whose safety was threatened in my thoughts. U.S. Representative Mike Boss with Illinois' 12th district saying hours after President Trump was struck in the ear left bleeding in Butler, quote, Tracy and I are shocked by the news, the attack on President Trump in Pennsylvania this afternoon. We are monitoring the situation closely and praying for the president. We asked the Missouri Republican Party for a statement saying we look forward to a thorough investigation to ensure those responsible for this act of terrorism are held accountable. The impact this has had not only on the rest of the presidential race, but on the lives of those in attendance is hard to ignore for Representative Davis.
What would you want to say to the people who were at that rally today, considering you've also been in a similar situation back in 2017?
Number one, you're never going to forget what happened that day. You're always going to be part of a historical day in American history that you didn't ask for.
Representative Davis told me that this political violence is inexcusable and should have nothing to do with whether you are wearing a red or a blue shirt. A scary story for him, he says, especially since back in 2017 he saw fellow politicians shot at that congressional baseball game, not unlike former President Trump.
Annie Kroll reporting tonight. Well, statements from other leaders are flooding into the newsroom at this hour. Missouri Governor Mike Parson took to X, asking followers to, quote, join Teresa and me in praying for President Trump, his family, and all victims who were in attendance at the rally in Pennsylvania today. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker also weighing in, saying, quote, violence is never the answer in our democracy. I'm closely monitoring the situation and praying for former President Trump's recovery. Thankful to the Secret Service for their quick response. 5 on your side will stay on top of this breaking news story into the overnight hours. Look for the latest updates on air on KSDK.com and on the 5+ app. We are in a weather impact alert tonight. A heat advisory starts at about 1 tomorrow afternoon. And while the actual temperatures are going to be below 100 degrees, it's going to feel a whole lot hotter. Meteorologist Jim Castillo has our weather impact forecast. Jim, we're talking dangerous heat here.
Very dangerous when, you get the dew points around 70 and then the actual air temperature near 100. So look at all the orange on here. That heat advisory starts up at 1 o'clock tomorrow and goes all the way till 8 p.m. on Monday. So weather impact alert days have been issued for Sunday starting at 1 o'clock and all the way through Monday. So the time frame on that right there, heat affects anyone caught outside without effective cooling. So whether you're in the pool, it's a good place to be, or get inside in the air conditioning, stay cool and hydrate for sure. Drink plenty of water, because look at these numbers. That feels like temperature in the afternoon, 105 to 108. possibly as high as 110. That's Sunday at 4 o'clock. Here's Monday at 4 o'clock. The feels like temperature once again near 110 in the heat of the afternoon. Air quality alert once again tomorrow. So the poor air quality for the metro, 10 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's another issue, but it is going to get much cooler. Rain and storms Tuesday night into Wednesday, and you won't believe how cool it stays. More on that coming up.
We'll want to hear that. If you need to beat the heat, by the way, we have a list of cooling centers and other heat relief resources for you. Just text the word HEAT to 314-425-5355. And still ahead tonight, a final goodbye to a fallen hero. How a firefighter killed in the line of duty is being honored and remembered. Remembering a hero. Today, the community coming together to honor a fallen firefighter. Assistant Fire Chief Matthew Tobin died during a swift water rescue in northern Columbia, Missouri, Monday. 5 on your side's Travis Cummings takes us to Union, Missouri, where the community is now paying tribute.
A somber caravan through eastern Missouri Saturday. A vintage truck carrying the hero and his 2 young sons through town for the last time as residents watched and waved. Bagpipes blowed as his family filed into East Central College. The public and fellow first responders stood by to pay their respects.
So whatever you do.
Tobin, just 42 years old, was working alongside a Columbia firefighter during a water rescue operation when the boat they were on overturned. The longtime fireman was thrown from the boat and drowned.
He was a man like no other man. His heart and drive was simple. It was to provide for his family and help others, no matter the consequences.
The husband and father of 2 served at the Union Fire Protection District for 19 years before he was appointed to Assistant Fire Chief in Boone County in 2024.
He has such a presence of confidence to him. Rarely would he hesitate with his actions, hold back his thoughts, or miss an opportunity to ask a good question.
Assistant Chief Tobin never faltered in the face of adversity. He defined the word hero.
A dedication of life for a man who gave his to save others.
But rest easy, brother. We have it from here. Keep the campfire lit, the golf ball teed up, and the beers on ice, and we'll meet again on God's golf course, where every drive's a hole-in-one.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
Tobin's death was reportedly the second flooding-related drowning in Boone County in the last week.
Weather impact alert days for tomorrow and also Monday. A lot of orange on here. It's a heat advisory that begins tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So heat, humidity, then storm chances, and then a big cool down. All that coming up.
Time now for your weather impact forecast. Meteorologist Jim Castillo standing by. And Jim, we're talking hot, hot, hot.
Yes, you know, we know today was hot, 91, but we're talking tomorrow closer to 100. And then that real feel temperature, about 105 to as high as 110. All right, right now, though, it's clear. Look around the area, a little bit of a breeze, too. Here's the upper level wind. We've got this area of high pressure right there over Denver. And right on the periphery of that, you get these disturbances with some severe weather approaching the Milwaukee area and also around Chicago. That's where it will stay until Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So we're in this heat. As that high kind of nudges in here, our chance of storms really went away today. So it's hot and humid. So that heat advisory begins at 1 p.m. Sunday till 8 p.m. on Monday. And we just want you to stay cool, stay hydrated, stay inside because this heat plus the humidity is going to be with us through Tuesday. But Tuesday, some clouds roll in. So the hottest days now look like Sunday and Monday. 84 degrees right now. Feels like 88, though, with that dew point near 70. It looks like that humidity is at 61%. So it's up there. You feel it. And the normal high is 90. We were at 91 today. Not too bad. But that real feel temperature as we get into Sunday, 105 to 108, especially around the metro. And the same deal. This is widespread all the way through Monday and the afternoon. And then here we go. A front does approach us as we get into Tuesday night. Chance of showers and storms in here in the evening hours. Then the overnight hours. We'll watch to see if any of these are strong, possibly fairly severe as we get into early on Wednesday. And then that front really sags through the area as we get into Wednesday evening. And so that rain chance now looks like it goes away and we turn much cooler, not only for the end of the week, but look at this, that temperature outlook as we get into the week after next, July 21st through 27th. Cooler than average. Can you believe that? Much more on that coming up. Tonight's lows look like this in the 70s. So again, that heat arrives tomorrow, and weather impact alert days start up at about 1 p.m. and last all the way through Monday. 99, possibly 100 on Monday, 96 Tuesday, and then we cool down Wednesday at 87. So that rain and storm chance Tuesday night into Wednesday. And look at Thursday, 83, Friday 83, 86 Saturday, and this could possibly last into next week. So a nice break as we get into July, which is amazing.
Pretty much a cool down, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
We like it.
Impressive.
Yeah, it is. Thank you, Jim. All right, Corey, what's going on?
Busy sports Saturday in downtown St. Louis today. 2 games at Busch Stadium and a steamy match at City Park made for some big moments, although they weren't all so good for the home team. We'll wrap it all up next in sports.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
The swing of emotions in a baseball season really is incredible. 24 hours ago, the Cardinals were coming off getting absolutely dominated by Kyle Hendricks. Today, they got 2 chances to make that game a long distant memory, and they took advantage of both of them. Kyle Gibson on the mound for the nightcap of today's doubleheader at Busch Stadium against the Cubs, and his offense gave him a good start. First Cardinals batter of the game is Mason Wynn. He goes deep, his first career leadoff homer. Later in the first, Wilson Contreras, opposite field. Watch it. We're going to get a splash down at Busch Stadium, just over the wall, 2-0 Cardinals. Cubs return the favor in the second. Miguel Amaya, that's a 2-run shot. We have a tie game. And then Nico Horner gets an RBI hit to give Chicago the lead, 3-2. Ollie Marmol did not love the strike zone tonight. He gets tossed, but the Cardinals rallied in the 8th. Down 4-3. Nolan Arenado gets one of his biggest hits of the season. That scores 2. Cardinals take the lead 5-4, and Ryan Helsley comes in and shuts down another one. 30 seconds save for the All-Star. Cardinals win 5-4. So that was game 2. Game 1 was even happier than that. Look at this play from Nolan Arenado. That's a third baseman taking it for himself for a double play. You don't see that very often. The insanity in this one was the bottom of the first inning. The Cardinals started hitting and didn't stop, grinding out hits, getting some bad defense from the Cubs, and a bruise or 2 that led to a 4-1 lead. Then Mason Wynn bats around with a 2-run bases-loaded single, 6-1 Cardinals. And when you need a big blast, just call Burley. Alec Burleson socks a 3-run bomb, his 16th of the season. The Cardinals lead 9-1 in the first inning. Pretty basic from there. Lance Lynn threw strikes, got fired up while tossing 6 innings of 2-run ball, and the bullpen finished it off for an 11-3 victory. But how about that first inning?
You know, we had guys, do that throughout that inning. Just keep it moving. Just get to the next guy, and obviously got up there and put a good swing on it. But you just want to keep the line moving when guys are rolling like that.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Busy sports day downtown. 2 games at Busch and a match over at City Park. City SC welcomed the Vancouver Whitecaps, who just 2 weeks ago put the final nail in Bradley Carnell's tenure as head coach. Here's a good sign. The captain, Roman Berkey, was back in net after leaving last game early. Vancouver struck first, though. Brian White had a hat trick last time these teams played. Here was his first of 2 tonight, 1-0 Whitecaps. City would equalize. Nuckby Thorson, he's the man up front these days. He sticks with that play for the goal to tie things up at 1. But remember, I said Brian White had 2. Here comes his second off an initial Berkey reflection. Vancouver added a couple more. They come to town. They beat City 4-1. Women's championship at Wimbledon today. The Czech Republic's Barbara Krejcikova against Italy's Jasmine Pellini. Some great action in this one, and it went all the way to 3 sets, but Krejcikova prevailed in the end. She's the 8th different women's winner at Wimbledon in the past 8 years. It's her second career Grand Slam title. One more quick Cardinals note. We're going to hear more from prospect Quinn Matthews tomorrow night on Sports Plus. But tonight he was busy throwing a scoreless inning at the Futures game in Arlington. Matthews had 2 strikeouts in the showcase, adding to his impressive season. A lot going on in the world of sports today.
Yeah.
Good day at Busch Stadium. Another depressing night over at City Park.
Yeah, all right. We can only hope it might get a little better.
Hopefully.
Yeah, Corey, thanks. All right, Jim, fill us in on the weather, my friend.
All right, so the Cards play again tomorrow. So this time it's a heated advisory that begins at 1, and I believe the game's at 1:15. So stay hydrated out there and keep the sun off you if that's possible. And we have weather impact alert days starting tomorrow and going through Monday, and then showers and storms becoming much more likely Tuesday evening into the overnight hours and Wednesday early. And then we get cooler. We'll be in the 80s starting Wednesday, and then we dry out and stay cool.
All eyes on Wednesday. Thank you, Jim. Well, before we go, we do want to bring you an update on that breaking news from the top of the hour. Former President Donald Trump is safe now after being shot at in an apparent assassination attempt this evening. He was grazed in the right ear. We know 2 people are dead, including the shooter. One spectator that we know of is in critical condition at this time. We're going to keep you updated as we learn the very latest in this ongoing developing story. That's all of our time. For 5 on Your Side at 10, Saturday Night Live is preempted tonight. We now rejoin NBC's coverage of the apparent assassination attempt on President Trump. Have a good night.